Hey guys, how are you? I hope you're all doing very well. This afternoon I'm going to be doing a movie review. This movie is a horror film from Canada, English language, released in the year 2016, directed by Danny Perez, and this film is called Antibirth. So Antibirth is about two best friends, Sadie and Lou. They're drug addicts. They spend their days by cleaning motel rooms, and they use their funds in order to do drugs, alcohol, and anything they can get their hands on in order to basically distract them from their very hopeless existence. So one day Lou discovers that her world is about to be changed forever when she gets the impression that she's pregnant. Now she can't recall having slept with anyone within the last 6 months, so she believes that this is impossible, so she ignores it. So as the days go by, her symptoms are getting more and more, and instead of actually going to the doctor to see what's going on, she decides to self-medicate with alcohol. So this is basically making the situation worse, to the point where she decides that she's going to go on a journey of self-discovery. But what she finds turns out to be a very bizarre, terrifying situation that involves a lot of people, and these people are posing a great threat to not only Lou, but her best friend Sadie. And so in order to try and rectify the situation, she's going to have to actually take care of matters on her own. So whether or not she can is something you're going to have to find out for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going with my synopsis. Now my thoughts on Antibirth. I will tell you right now, this is an incredibly bizarre film that does have its positives, but unfortunately it's outweighed by its negatives. Now the biggest positive is that Danny Perez actually allows you to be absorbed in a world that you don't want to be associated with. This movie is about detestable situations, about detestable human beings, and it's very provocative. It's a very gross out film, so as far as extreme cinema is concerned, I would definitely say that Antibirth is one that could be included. So the visuals are very, very vivid. The colour palette is very good. It's very bright, and actually feels like you're going on a surreal journey with these people. So there's a lot of interest in this movie, and it feels like you're becoming associated in the world of the drug addict that you see at the train station that you want nothing to do with. But Danny Perez in this film actually forces you to become part of that lifestyle for 90 minutes. So it really is an experience in that way, where you actually feel like you need to have a shower at the end of the film. So it captures just trailer park sort of trash lifestyle, where it's just a hopeless situation. It's very depressing, but at the same time it's actually quite funny in the way it's done. Is because this woman, especially Lou, played by Natasha Lyonne, is just a hopeless drug addict, and the way she uses her drugs constantly is both very disturbing, but it's done in a way where you can actually giggle as well. So you're kind of like condoning this behaviour, which gives it that sort of dark comedy value that a lot of other films have, and I think that sort of dark comedy element is actually present in this film. So you've got Natasha Lyonne's character's best friend Sadie, played by Chloe Sevigny, and I thought their chemistry was very good. These are two detestable human beings, so it feels like these guys are more like anti-heroes as opposed to straight-out heroes. So they're kind of like the least bad people in a very bad world. So you've got no one really to root for, because they're all very dirty and disgusting people, but the situation is basically the most interesting part of this film. So there are moments that will that will leave you scratching your head thinking, what the hell did I just see? So if you like those kinds of films, Antibirth really does deliver that. So it feels like you're on a fever-pitch nightmare along with these characters. So the overall, as I said, the situations are very interesting. You actually want to know more about these characters, because they do beg a lot of questions, and the movie does promise a lot of questions. But my biggest problem with Antibirth is the fact that it doesn't really answer those questions. The movie is clouded with mysterious quality to the point where you feel unsatisfied at the end, and it actually feels like Danny Perez does a very good job at absorbing your attention and keeping your attention, but he doesn't really have any way to really reward that attention. He doesn't have a way to cap off that very intriguing sort of element that the movie has. And so I believe that this movie was a cautionary tale about reckless behaviour during pregnancies, or reckless behaviour resulting in unwanted pregnancies, and the effects of drugs and alcohol on a baby, but it wasn't really clear as to what it wanted to be. So although I had that impression, on the other hand, I was there thinking, is it really about that? Or is this just a David Cronenberg-esque kind of body horror film? And so because there's no clarity in the air, because it actually feels like this is in the mind of a drug addict that doesn't really know where he's going, because the film feels that way, it feels very muddled, and I thought the continuity was severely affected by this. And I thought that this movie is very slow, so be very careful of that, but I thought the slow build-up didn't really go anywhere. And so that's why I was left scratching my head thinking, where did this film want to go? Did it want to be a straight-out horror comedy, just balls-to-the-wall, zany sort of film, or did it want to be a movie about the commentary of these pregnancies and the devastating effects of drugs? And because you've got all these elements where you're thinking to yourself, is this movie about that? Is it about this? What did it want to do here? What did it want to do here? It just leaves you with a very unsatisfied, sort of bitter taste in the mouth by the end of the film. Now, I will say the end of the movie was fantastic. It is absolutely crazy, so I'm not going to give that away. And if you are feeling as though you're bored with this film, I would say definitely stick it out to the end, because the ending one of the most memorable endings I've ever seen in a film. It's just that crazy. But unfortunately, I thought the ending really deserved a better build-up. It really deserved a lot more questions that were answered to the point where you felt as though, okay, I could watch this film again. All right, I could actually go out there and recommend this film to everybody. But in the end, what you get is a movie that just felt like a complete mess. It didn't really feel like it had any clear vision. There were certain scenes in this film that were very memorable, but when the film comes together, it just feels like it's not as memorable as it really should have been. And the overall specific these certain scenes that I'm talking about as far as memorable quality are concerned really weren't complemented by an overall piece. So unfortunately, I can't recommend a film based on a few certain scenes, but I would definitely say it's a very unique story, but I just don't think the story was executed to a very satisfactory level. So overall, for Antibirth, I'm going to give it 2.5 stars for the simple fact that it is very crazy, it is very different, but unfortunately I just thought it bit off a little bit more than it could chew. Alright guys, that's it for my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later.